I'm not gonna lie, I kind of miss when regular season basketball kind of mattered. I kind of miss seeing when guys were dropping 40 and 50 points, and you actually kind of felt that. You feel like, yo, Kobe, Allen Iverson, Trace McGrady, Dwayne Wade, all these players, Gilbert Arenas, the early 2000s, late 2000s, where players are getting 40 and 50 points, it meant something, and you can see it when you watching the game that, yo, it was very tough for him to get that 40. It was very tough for him to get that 50. Now you see guys right now with the inflated stats and inflated pace. You see guys right now that are just average players in the game getting 40, getting 50 points on some nights. And it's kind of like, yes, he got 40, he got 50. You can't take that away from him, but it's just like it don't feel like 40 or 50. Or 40 or 50 don't feel like how it used to be back in the day. Now, a lot of that has to do with everybody. It's a copycat league when everybody's playing the same style because of basketball analytics. It says like it's the more efficient shot. It's a 3-point shot, running up and down, getting a layup. And it's kind of like that has kind of like really diluted the game of basketball to a certain degree. And I'm not going to be one of these guys to talk about, analytics is bad and stuff like that. Analytics is a great thing, especially if you're a player. You can see some of the inefficiencies in your game and things you need to work on and see the area of the course that you need to work on and improve on. And also for coaches as well, using that as a tool, the game plan. But it becomes bad when we see things like the Denver Nuggets in that situation with, a 3-on-1 fast break. And then people say that wasn't analytics' fault. But then we hear Michael Porter Jr. in the press conference says, that's what we've been taught to do. So it is a problem. And that's why I really feel like when people talk about defense in today's game and they talk about this player doesn't play defense, that player doesn't play defense, who the hell in the NBA is playing defense? When the average team is scoring between 115 and 120 points on a nightly basis. It's only about 10 to 12 guys that really play defense. And when we're talking about defense has to be individualized. And I'm talking about those 10 to 12 guys that actually play defense on a nightly basis. But from a team concept, standpoint, or for people like to pick and choose what player, Luka doesn't play defense, Steph doesn't play defense, Dame, Trae Young, all these guys are terrible on the defensive side of the court. That's what they say when the whole team is terrible. And it's just like, and that's why, it's just different. I really miss like when regular season games really mattered when the NBA was more physical. Hand checking was allowed. You can be physical in the post. You can put a hand on their hips, on the offensive player's hips sometimes, and you can get away with it. It just seems like the game was a lot better in the regular season. Now it just seems like we're just waiting for the playoffs when the game slows down and it really becomes exciting and fun to watch. That's why it's refreshing to always see a low-scoring defensive battle. Guys, duking it out, scoring at the mid-range game, that playoff type of feel and playoff type of atmosphere. We used to see that for 82-game stretches and not just in the postseason back in the day. And that's what I really miss about the NBA right now. Of course, being a purist and have a love and passion for the NBA, I'm still going to watch, of course. But it's a difference where I try to tell people in, some of the younger generation, they may see Giannis drop 30 and 14, but they hear Richard Jefferson was like, they see Giannis dropping 30 and 14, but he's really can't score. And then we heard LeBron echo that same, sentiment when in his podcast saying like, yeah, he really can't score. But it's just like fans are seeing like, yo, he's averaging 30 and 15. He's putting up these crazy stats, but it's just kind of like those stats are inflated. Like back in the day, he wouldn't be putting up those numbers because the pace of the game would be different than what it is right now. And it's not just Giannis, because Giannis is an excellent player, great player. And it's refreshing to see Giannis and to see players like Zion Williamson to be dominant in the post and to do all their work at the first level on the basketball floor. Because right now, every big man want to shoot threes. Everybody want to shoot threes. It's just like, it's no in-between game, no scoring in the post, no, attacking the rim. It's really just fast break transition layups, 3 points on the outside, shoot and go. And it's kind of like, it can be very annoying at times. That's why you have to appreciate the guys and the true superstars, like I say all the time in the game, are the guys that have a half-court game, guys that, can show up in the playoffs where it matters the most, the three-level scorers, and get it done, and can operate, and where the mid-range shot is basically a layup to them. Those are the guys that go out and win championship, and those are the truly the best players in the game. When the game slows down, can you be effective? So it's just kind of like watching the regular season right now. It seemed like it peaked in 2016. I know everybody says this, but like 2016 was the last time I was really, really excited about a regular season. The regular season just in general, and that entire season from start to finish, it was phenomenal. Now, maybe this season is a little shaky because there's no fans in the arena. That may have something to do with the way I'm feeling or the way other people feeling, but it's really because of the lack of defense that's played throughout the regular season. To me, the inflated stats of seeing some of these guys put up these astronomical numbers on a nightly basis when, if you do the eye test, like, okay, they putting up these stats, but has their game really improved? Like, I can watch Jeremy Grant go out and become, he's worked on his game to become an elite shot creator, and he's on a bad team with the Detroit Pistons, but has he really, his numbers have improved so much, but has he really improved his overall game? We wouldn't get a chance to see that until, like, the playoffs. So, like, we look at Giannis and his inflated stats. Has he really improved his game in the playoffs? Those are the questions. It's several other players like that are putting up crazy numbers in the regular season and stats, but their overall game hasn't improved. But it's kind of like the way the NBA is right now, because it's not just the superstars. It's some solid role players and starters that are going crazy as well. But back in the day, when the pace are slow, when it's hard to get 100 points and all those things, defenses, regular season is the regular season feeling and atmosphere is the same as the playoffs. A lot of these guys we're seeing right now putting up these crazy numbers wouldn't be doing that as well. So it's tough right now because, we love the NBA. We love watching the superstar plays, but some of these games are just flat out unwatchable. And it's kind of like I found myself once again waiting for, like, when is the playoffs going to start? And I feel like the NBA has to now do a better job of kind of like going back to the drawing board and kind of like going back to some of the old defensive ways and defensive concepts that teams used to be able to do and players used to be able to do to make the game better in the regular season going forward. Because right now it's like when can the playoffs start? Because some of these games are not even worth watching in the regular season.